Hey everyone, how's it going today? Lamoura here, and welcome back to yet another episode of Final Fantasy XIV Online. We are deep in the mystery of who is causing some riots here in Ul'dah, and we need to figure it out. In order to do so, we need to talk to Swift and start our next quest, Revolution. Swift has a message for you from General Raban. Let's just take a quick look. None of that's good, so we'll be taking silver pieces. The Flame General left word that you were to proceed to the Fragrant Chamber as soon as you returned. He wishes to discuss your recent discoveries as well as the results of our own investigation. Master Alphinaud has already been informed and should be waiting for you outside. Pray proceed to the Royal Promenade with all haste and speak with Bartholomew. Blech. Got tongue-tied on that one. Alright, so we need to go to the Hustling Strips. The best way of doing that is to actually take, well, in my opinion, it actually might be easier just to walk in, but to hopefully avoid as many loading screens as possible, we're just going to go through the Aetheryte and hit the Chamber of Rule, which is what I believe. Oh my god, that is a pig in a pajamas, I have to assume? It's in a onesie. It's amazing. It's amazing. I always get enthralled by the minions in this game. Alright, let's go to the Chamber of Rule then. Yep, I was right. Thankfully, we didn't need to stop somewhere else and talk to someone in order to go into the Chamber of Rule. I always hate those quests. Talk to someone so they can tell you where you already knew you had to go. Alright, there's Alphinaud, my boy. Still looking healthy and spry as ever. What is this thing? What's this flying little puffball? This flying little marshmallow? It's a flying little piggy. Apparently flying pigs are the jam in this game. Alright, Bartholomew, let me in. We have been expecting you, madame. Please proceed inside. I will, and I will take them silver pieces for just walking.
Commander Swift has kept us apprised of your recent activities. You've made great strides towards quelling the violence.
Despite our best efforts to determine what provoked this uprising, the truth continues to elude us. Have you uncovered aught which might shed some light on the mystery?
This information does not leave this room. The Syndicate's decision to reject the Doman refugees' appeal for asylum had lasting repercussions. A number of those displaced by the calamity claimed it was proof of a policy of discrimination. Together with a group of Alamegan refugees, they organized a series of demonstrations to protest against the Sultanate. Demonstrations which became heated, but did not descend into violence. Until a certain incident served as a call to arms.
A unit of brass blades sent to supervise a demonstration loosed arrows upon unarmed protesters. It was this atrocity which prompted the refugees to take up arms. I need not tell you what followed.
We assumed at first that the attack was born of a miscommunication. When emotions run high, they happen. But suspicions were raised regarding the unit's commanding officer, whom I ordered interrogated. Sure enough, our fears were soon confirmed. The dog confessed that a merchant had offered him coin to give the order. A merchant in the employ of Teleji Adeleji.
Teleji Adeleji? But he spoke in favor of the Doman's cause, and has ever seemed sympathetic towards the refugees' plight. Why would he do such a thing?
Know you of the Cartano Reclamation Bill? It is a proposal to annex the Cartano Flats so that refugees may establish permanent settlements.
When last I looked, that was disputed territory.
Aye. Some might even call it a battlefield. The destruction wrought by Bahamut was greatest at the Cartano Flats. That much is common knowledge. What is less well known is that his rampage laid bare ancient Allagan ruins. of which no record existed. There are certain differences of opinion as to how these ruins should be handled, which is why each nation maintains a military presence in the region to this day. Yet differ though we may, we are still allies. Therefore, in the interest of preserving the Eorzean alliance, we have reached an agreement. Any conflict which may arise during the course of military exercises in the region shall have no bearing on relations between our nations. In full knowledge of this delicate state of affairs, Thanalan Adeleji proposed the Cartano Reclamation Bill. A shameless bloody ruse which stands to benefit him in but one conceivable way. If successful, he will gain control over the disputed territory under the guise of assisting in the resettlement effort. And you can be sure he'll build an orphanage next to every Allagan ruin.
The man would threaten the unity of the Eorzean alliance and risk countless lives for personal gain.
He walks a path all his own, independent of any faction and beholden to none of his fellows on the Syndicate.
By inciting the less fortunate to violence, he hopes to convince others that the Cartano Reclamation Bill is the only viable solution. His sympathy for the plight of the Domans was not but posturing to gain credibility with the refugees. Of that there can be no doubt.
Forgive me, but what could possibly motivate Thanalan Adeleji to go to such lengths? What is so special about these ruins that he would risk his position on the Syndicate, and, most likely, charges of treason against the Sultanate?
Omega.
Pardon?
An Allagan monstrosity, not unlike the Ultima weapon. Mayhap larger, we know not. It has yet to be fully excavated. Allagan inscriptions indicate that it was created to fell Bahamut himself. If accurate, it might explain why Nail Van Darnus chose to bring the Red Moon down upon the Cartano Flats. Given the ends he went to ensure Eorzea's annihilation, destroying the one weapon which could stay the Elder Primal may well have seemed like good sense.
When first I bore witness to the power of the Ultima weapon, I doubted the evidence of my senses. And now you tell me there is another such weapon. One which could contend with Bahamut. Bahamut!
Aye, we were skeptical ourselves. Truth be told, until the Ultima weapon's existence came to light, we thought the inscription had been mistranslated.
At present, Omega is more akin to a fossil than a tool of war, having long since ceased to function. As such, its true potential cannot accurately be gauged. However, if someone were to restore it, as the Garleans did the Ultima weapon, I have little doubt that he would wield untold power.
Power enough to subjugate Uldar like as not, and the rest of Eorzea besides, which is doubtless why Thanalan Adeleji yearns to have it.
That he should aspire to world domination. He who has ever walked 2 paces behind Lord Lolorito in matters of commerce.
'Tis in acknowledgement of his own limitations that he seeks this power. Woe betide us all should we allow him to have it.
Pray waste no time chasing rats. Only a fool would believe that secrets can be kept in Uldar.
It would seem the implications of the Sultanate's refugee problem are rather more far-reaching than we assumed.
Wow, that was a lot. Who would have thought Thanalan Adeleji would be the one? Jesus. Stories we tell. Recent revelations weigh heavily on Alphino's mind. I don't think any of these are good. I should be glad to know the truth, and yet, the thought that all this chaos was the product of one man's lust for power sickens me. How long do you think they intend to hide the existence of Omega from the Scions? That they even felt the need to do so is most troubling. It would be in our best interest to learn more of the military activities in the disputed territories. You are, of course, the Scions best suited to this task, Corporal Nia. I always get messed up with that. Do take a moment to visit Maelstrom Command and make inquiries at the earliest available opportunity. Begone, whelp! This is no place for children! I'm sorry. It's that girl from before, whose parents didn't return. I was looking for you, miss. People said you were looking for the man who left with my parents. You know this girl? So, he visited Stone's Throw as well. I see. Did you find the man? Were my parents with him? They were not, I'm afraid. However, I can think of several places they might be. If you like, we can go and look for them together. Really? You'll help me look, mister? Of course. But first, I must needs finish speaking with my friend. She's telling me a secret, you see, so no one else is allowed to listen. Mayhaps you could wait for me by the pillar over there. We require but a moment. Dude. Okay, mister. I'll be waiting. Alphino is such a stand-up dude. He's willing to help everybody. I'll take her to the quicksand. Mayhaps Momodi will know what to do. A legion of Garleans, an Aether-starved primal, even dealing with an Ascian, would be preferable to this charade. Sometimes I fear Menphilia is too ambitious. We rush hither and yon in response to threats as they arise, without concern for the strain it places on our limited resources, and ourselves. Mayhaps the time has come for a change. Nia, this is Menphilia. I know this is sudden, but I must ask you to return to Revenant's Toll with all due haste. The situation in the Twelveswood has taken a turn for the worst. I will explain in detail once you arrive. The Twelveswood? Then the primal threat she spoke of before has been confirmed. I have received no reports on Ixali activity, which leaves the Sills? Go, Nia. You know as well as I that the appearance of a primal takes precedent over all else. Oh, and when you arrive, do inform the antecedent that while I am grateful for her concern, she needn't fear for my safety. I am more than capable of protecting myself. And so Alphino walks a lonely road, one that I will never know. He's always up to something. Alright, so we need to go back to Revenant's Toll here. Let's just do a quick little porty port. And I guess I'll meet you guys when I enter into the Solar. Alright, Menphilia, tell me what's going on. It is a relief to see you healthy and hale, Nia. The latest news from Ul'dah was most disturbing. Clearly, the only injury Alphino suffered was to his ego. Doubtless, it will heal ere long. The other Scions will need to be present for this meeting. If you are ready to begin, I will summon them now. Yep, ready as could be. Lord of Levin. Menphilia wishes to discuss the latest threat to arise in the Black Shroud. None of that is good, so more silver. Thank you for responding to my call with such haste. Rest assured, I should not have summoned you were it not urgent. To business then. I have received some most disturbing news from the Order of the Twin Adder. They have reason to believe that the Sylphs may have called forth their revered guardian, the primal Ramu. I'm sorry. May have? Then it is not certain? The Elder Seedseer informs us that the elementals themselves murmur of the Lord of Levin's return to the forest. The Sylphlands, however, display no signs of undue commotion. Forgive me, antecedent, but that fact need not contradict the elemental's testimony. Unlike his more bellicose compeers, sure, I don't know any of that, Garuda and so on, Ramu is reputed to act only in the defense of his children. I imagine he would soon make his presence known if any were foolish enough to directly endanger the Sylphs or their territory. The abruptness of this development concerns me. Were we not keeping a close watch on the touched ones and their movements? Were we not keeping a close watch on the touched one and their movements? Sorry, I fumbled that. If preparations for summoning a ritual were indeed underway, 'twould surely not have escaped your notice. Oh, it didn't. I was pretty sure it was going to happen, just not this soon. I beg your pardon, you foresaw this eventuality and did not to prevent it. I told Papalymo. I suppose I could have reported things to Menphelia earlier, but there honestly wasn't much we could do except wait and see. You know how the Sylphs feel about people poking around in their territory? They already summoned Ramu once right after the calamity, but that was because the Garleans came trampling through their forest. And so long as Castrum Orion stands, the Sylphs cannot be blamed for wishing to have the guardian deity on hand. In short, Yida and I are in agreement. The actions of the Forest folk were inevitable and unavoidable. And I maintain that observation would have remained the best policy had it not been for the sudden influx of strangers into the Black Shroud. That, alas, we did not foresee. By all accounts, the recent violence in Ul'dah drove a number of refugees to seek safety under the concealing canopy of the trees. 'Tis like that the Sylphs perceived this panicked migration as yet another invasion and quickened their efforts to summon their god. I am put in mind of Titan and the kobolds once again. It is the affairs of man which have paved the way for a primal's coming. Indeed, one cannot help but wonder what manner of place Eorzea would be without the civilizing influence of mankind. Be that as it may, this regrettable development does afford us a unique opportunity. Nia, through your dealings with the Sylphs of Little Solace, you once succeeded in preventing an untimely conflict with Gridania. I wonder, might one who has treated with the Sylphs so fruitfully in the past not achieve similar success with their patron deity? If Ramu can be convinced of our intentions, it may be the first step to breaking the cycle of primal summoning. A fond hope. Were such a thing possible, we would not have been at war with the beastmen since time immemorial. But maybe this time we can. Let us continue this discussion anon. We must needs first consult with the nation most affected by Ramu's presence. The Elder Seedseer has requested your personal involvement, Nia. Pray report to Commander Helena, at the Adder's Nest, and as soon as you are able. Steel yourself for the worst. While I hope for a peaceful resolution to this matter, experience suggests that your meeting with the Lord of Levin will prove no less amicable. In such an event, your fellow Scions will of course lend you whatever support you require. Well, it seems like we're going to be fighting another primal, because we could never just turn it to a normal conversation, a normal chit-chat. Everything has to turn into a fight, which I'm perfectly okay with. Alright, so we need to go to the Adder's Nest, which means that technically we need to just go to New Gridania. So I will port there, and I'll meet you back over in Gridania. Alright, so we need to go about face and go to the Grand Company, Order of the Twin Adder. Let's just sprint our way there. There's no reason not to, I would assume. Oh, what is this outfit, huh? Looks pretty good. I like the little tails at the end. Kind of looks like folded wings and like just a simple white and black color scheme. It's a really nice outfit. Even these boots go with it, and like the garters or whatever they have here. Everything kind of flows together. Let's see. Omega Gambison? Yeah, sure. I'm surprised, though, to see that they're a dragoon. I think that was the most surprising part. Nia of the Scions, your arrival has been most anticipated. The appearance of a primal is ever cause for alarm and unease. Though my men stand ready for any eventuality, I know of none more qualified than you to snuff out this threat. Indeed, I would have you do so without delay. The Elder Seer, however, would speak with you first. She is of the opinion that your diplomatic rather than martial skill may better serve our cause. I will leave further explanation to our learned leader. Pray make your way to Noficia's altar. Altar. The conjurer in attendance will admit you to the Lotus Stand. Alright, we've been there before. We've done this multiple times. I think the easiest way to get there, if I'm not mistaken, is right up through here. But I also may be mistaken. But nope. There's the Conjurer's Guild symbol. Cool. Okay, so let's just get on through here. We'll have to go through one more loading screen. A little floating sea turtle. Look at its big old eyes. Cute little face. Aw. Why is it floating? The other Scions have already arrived, madame. May I show you in? Please do. Oh yeah, look at that. The gang's all here. Last to arrive like usual. I mean, I get it. They always assume it's an MMO. You have other things to be doing, dailies and whatnot.
Scions of the 7th Dawn, on behalf of the people of Gridania, I bid you welcome. Your presence is of great comfort to us all in these days of uncertainty. I summoned you here to share tidings of a most urgent nature. But a short while ago, the great elemental spoke, and his voice was clarion in its intensity. Ramuh is returned unto the forest. Scarce had his words ceased to echo in mine ears when we were visited by an emissary from Little Solace. Our guest informs us that the Sylphs, too, have sensed the presence of the Lord of Levin. Though his exact whereabouts remain unknown, we may safely assume that the Primal was summoned within the heart of the Sylphlands. Unlike the other Primals you have encountered, Lord Ramuh is no raging avatar of destruction. He is revered as much for his wisdom as his strength, serving as both arbiter and guardian to his children. Given that we and the Sylphs found a way to share the Twelveswood, it is my hope that this sagely immortal will be amenable to reason, and that conflict may be avoided. Blessed as you are with the power of the Echo, you are one of the few among us who may commune with a primal without fear of influence. I would ask, therefore, that you represent us in this most delicate of negotiations. The Twelveswood has suffered enough. Upon this, we and the Sylphs, and I would venture Lord Ramuh himself, are in perfect accord. Let us not endanger our shared home by engaging in unnecessary hostilities. Dear friend, I beseech you, safeguard the peace which exists between our peoples. You have my thanks. Pray make for little solace, then. A member of the Order of the Twin Adder awaits you there. He will advise you on how to find the Lord of Levin. An ill wind blows through the forest. Yet, it is not only the Twelve's Wood that flinches at its coming. All the lands of Eorzea shiver in dread anticipation.
Alright, so I just wanted to teleport here because there was nothing to do in the other area of Gridania. It kind of just ported us out of that little meeting area, and then we had to port here, so it would have just made no sense to keep it in. In any case, we're here at Hawthorne Hut. We're going to go to Little Solace. They seem to be trusting us to solve this peacefully, but I'll be honest with you, that's not really our strong suit. We're more, like, I would say, more defined by our skills in battle in defeating primals than we are at, like, subduing them with our words. But, hey, you know, they can hope, right? Everyone can hope. Nia of the Scions, I was told to expect you. I understand you go to treat with the primal Ramu himself? Sure, okay. An unenviable task, and one that shall be made all more difficult by the interference of the touched sylphs. With the aids of the Scions and the inhabitants of Little Solace, the Order of the Twin Adder will enter the Sylphs' land and do what can be done to clear your path. I shall brief you on one impending operation once you are satisfied with your preparations. I think I'm pretty satisfied. Let me in on the deets. A Sylph Land Sting. The Serpent Lieutenant is eager to explain the details of your foray into the Sylph Lands. Even Star Necklace. Let's just do an item comparison just in case. Yeah, it's getting close, but it's still not as good as what I have. So I will take the silver pieces for the next quest. Are you ready? That was not how that went. Ready, are you? Then allow me to explain the finer details of this foray into the Sylphlands. In order that you might treat with the Lord of Levin, we must first learn where the primal is to be found. Though we are certain Ramu was summoned somewhere within the territory of the touched sylphs, his precise whereabouts yet elude us, and aimlessly thrashing around the undergrowth will only lead to unnecessary conflict. We are fortunate, then, to have the expertise of the Science of the Seventh Dawn at our disposal. Mistress Ida and her companions will make use of the Charlian device to measure the recent etheric activity. They assure me that the disturbance caused by the summoning of a primal shall prove a most obvious beacon. But we must not get ahead of ourselves. Your first objective will be to join up with your fellow Scions. Time being of the essence, they have already entered the Sylphlands. Fear not, however, they have a Twin Adder escort and a Sylph guide for help! This one needs help! The guide. What has become of your companions? These ones were ambushed at the border of Touch One's territories. Touch One tossed the stinging scale bomb, and arrow-shooting ones were left coughing and crying. What of the Scions? Arrow-shooting ones were in the lead, and took the worst of the stinging. Other walking ones scattered this way and that to escape the same fate. Barely 2 steps into the Sylphlands and we have already lost our charges, but it will profit us little to go running after them until we know exactly what we're facing. Let us first tend to the scouts and assess the situation. This one has cleansing water for walking ones. Splash it over arrow-shooting ones and rinse away the stinging scales from eyes and nose and mouth. My thanks. I will leave this task in Nia's capable hands. Dude, I don't want to get scale things in my nose and eyes. 'Tis hardly an auspicious beginning, but I must ask that you adhere to the plan, and rendezvous with your fellow Scions. If you can get the scouts back on their feet, they may be able to point you towards your companions. Oh, and be on your guard. If the operation is to succeed, we can ill afford any further mishaps. Coughing and crying ones are not far. This one will show walking one the way. Thank you, Maxio. I appreciate it. Though, please warn me if it looks like I'm going to get those scales in my eyes, noses, or mouth. It's like a pepper spray. Ain't nobody need that in their life. Nobody. Alright. And once again, we are the only one who seems to be able to do anything of worth in this game, which is also very nice because it makes you really feel like you're a part of this world and you're being the active change. Instead of other MMOs that I've seen where you're kind of just passive, you're just a random adventurer not really having anything to do so much with the story. Yeah, you're there in part, but there are other main characters who do much, much more. I never really gelled with that, to be honest with you. Alright, we should be getting to the Sylphlands right over this bridge, and hopefully... Oh, there's Maxio. And there's the Suffocating Privates, Teary-Eyed Privates, and the Wheezing Private. Alright, let's splash them with the Cleansing Water then. Oh, that is much better. Alright, one for you. Oh, he's not in range. Alright, how about that? Ah, praise Nofisia. I thought to claw my own eyes from my skulls. Does that bastard sylph yet linger? I can still barely see. Don't worry, my dude. You'll get revenge eventually. Well, not really. I'll talk to Ramu and see what we can do. Thanks. Thank you. A sylph threw some manner of powder. That guy right there? Alright, I'll get revenge then. Another walking one? Ha! This one shall not falter. This one carries an entire sack of... This one's sack of skill bombs. It is gone. No matter. This one will fetch more, and then new walking one will suffer as well. Well, I think we just have to give chase here, so that we can't allow it to get some more. Oh, wait, nope, I'm sorry. We're turning around, talking to Maxio. I was confuzzled. Alright, Maxio, tell me what you got. Hee hee, this one stole Touch One's sack while Touch One was gloating over coughing ones. This one's clever trick will mean naught if Touch One fetches more scale bombs. Walking One must act fast. This one will use another clever trick to help Walking One move unseen. Walking One must sneak up on Touch One before this one's tricks wears off. Take this scale bomb and give Touch One a taste of Touch One's own medicine. Is Walking One ready? This one is eager to make mischief for Touched One. Alright, so we have transparency here. It'll kind of give us a little clue here. Wait, okay, so it didn't activate just yet. I just want to be sure. So we'll read this real quick because we haven't had an active help window in a while. Through Sephiric magics, you can become transparent and infiltrate enemy territory undetected. While in this state, the transparent icon will appear in your status bar. The timer below this icon indicates the amount of time you have left before the enchantment wears off. Certain points along your route extend the duration of your transparency. Use them wisely while avoiding detection. Be warned that you cannot perform any actions while transparent. So you can pretty much just run and interact with these things. So, hold still. Walking One will soon be there but not there, just like the wind. Maxio's magic will render you invisible. Find the Touch Sylph and surprise him with a stinging scale bomb before the enchantment fades. The invisibility spell will last for 35 seconds. If you run out of time before achieving the objective, return to Maxio and ask him to refresh the enchantment. While the invisibility spell is in effect, you can extend its duration by touching the sweet-smelling wildflower found along the way. Alright, so we are now invisible, just like that. No enemies will see us. Players can still see us. We still appear just how we are on screen to them. So you can still see our minion, you can still see Momo. But no one in... as far as the NPCs can see us, so we'll be okay to just run amok through this lands. And as you can see, there is that sweet-smelling wildflower scattered around. You can kind of tell your path of where you need to go just by following those things there. But the thing is, we do need to find this hostile Sith. So he is over here, and that just kind of gives you the extra time you need just in case you need to look around. Ow, ow, ow! This one leaves smart and prickle, but this one was being so careful with the scales. Alright, well I think we did that. Can we like burn this stuff so it doesn't bother anyone else? I feel like that would be the wisest idea. You don't want to just leave that stuff around for anybody to use. Or maybe... Maybe we could think of some ideas to use with it. Did Walking One give Touch One a stinging surprise? Hee hee hee. Touch One will not bother these ones for a time, this one thinks. And Coughing and Crying One seems much better. Perhaps Arrow Shooting Ones are ready to talk with Walking One now. Alright, let's see what these guys have to say. I can finally see again. Your aid is most appreciated. You are Nia of the Scions, yes? Then you will doubtless be eager to know what became of your fellows. That I would. Please tell me. Scattered Scions. The teary-eyed private appears ready to explain the fate of your fellow Scions. Are you aware, as you are aware, our party fell victim to an ambush. We scouts immediately moved forward to engage the enemy and bid the Scions to take cover. Then, before we knew what was happening, the air was filled with that stinging, choking dust. The last thing I saw before my vision clouded was Master Papalymo stumbling northeast towards Gold Leaf Dais. I know not what befalls the others. The Touch Sylphs are certainly alerted to our presence in the territory, and I urge you to locate your companions quickly. Maxio, our guide, will be of the greatest help to you in that endeavor. Meanwhile, my fellow scouts and I will seek to draw the attention of potential ambushers away from you. Their nasty tricks will not find such easy prey for a second time. I hope not. Counting on you guys. Alright, so we need to find our fellow Scions then. Looks like our area is up over here, right where there's a fate, which is not ideal, I'll be honest with you. Hopefully, though, I am high enough level where they won't bother me any. That's the hope. I'll hope, once again, that it comes true. Alright, so they should just be right down around this corner, up through here, winding on through. And I think we're good. Yep, there's Papalymo. Enough of this! My feet ache, my back hurts, and I wish to leave these sylphs in peace. Etheric readings? Why don't you let this fellow take your measure? Something doesn't seem quite right there. Papalymo's acting a little strange, if I do say so myself. Alright, let's see what's going on here. I'm still gonna get hit by that, but I don't even really care. I dodged it, so it was alright. Talk to Papalymo, I'm assuming. Why do you persist? There is no need to take measurements. I can tell you with certainty that Lord Ramuh is nowhere to be found. I don't really believe you, though. Doesn't really seem like the Papalymo I know. Is something bothering Walking One? Wise ones are not acting as wise ones should. This one is not sure how wise ones should behave, but this one suspects sneaky ones seek to deceive Walking One with skin-changing tricks. Walking One must take these trick-breaking scale bombs and throw them at skin-changing sneaky ones, although this one does not suggest throwing anything unless Walking One is sure wise ones are not truly wise ones. So I just get to toss these things? Dude, I'm all there for that. Alright, let's just see real quick. Let's talk to Yida. No, I will not walk another step. Let us cease this dispolement of the forest and return home. Alright, I don't think that's the Yida that I know. She's much more chipper. Oh, we were correct. I knew my companions. You can't fool me. I'm way too smart for these little sylphs. They think they can trick me, but to no avail. And then let's use another one on Papalymo here. Or Imposter Papalymo. And there we go. Once again, I knew it. Okay, that should just about do it. Let's go to return back to Maximo. Wise ones were sneaky ones in disguise after all. So this one led Walking One into Sneaky One's trap. Forgive this one. This one will search some more, and so must Walking One. Does Walking One still have trick-breaking skill bombs? This one fears more Sneaky Ones may be lurking nearby. I would like some more, actually, but we'll continue looking for the scions then. See if we can spot some of the imposters. Looks like we'll have to go up in around up to the top bit of the area to find our next little objective. If I continue straight, I should be able to get there. Okay. Sometimes the Sylphland is a little confusing to me, mostly because it all looks the same. It's a little dark in here. Sure, you can follow some of these lanterns and lights, but until you figure out that's where you're supposed to be going, it can be a little tricky. And then we'll cut through up here, go around this way, avoid some of these enemies. Wow, I'm surprised that Sylph Bonnet actually targeted me. It's pretty crazy. Okay, and we should be hitting the area right up through here, if I'm not mistaken. Stinging Sophie. Is that something I can defeat on my own? I almost don't want to try it, just because I wouldn't really be able to run away. Okay, well, we'll get this Violet Snarl at the very least. I'm not the mandatory 10 levels above it, so it did target onto me, so that's okay. We'll deal with it. And of course it got me with paralysis. Alright, Yida, are you okay over here? Nia, it's you. I was worried you wouldn't find us. Seeing as you have, though, do you think you could give me a hand? Thancred's been a bit difficult. I keep telling him we should be taking readings, but he refuses to move. Yeah, okay, about that, you know? I don't think Thancred's Thancred. But let's see. And our inquiries were correct indeed. Thancred was not his true self. He was a skin-changing scion. Or self in Scion's clothing. Alright, I'll use that, and... Oh, I definitely have to use it on Yida, just to be sure, I guess. Better safe than sorry. Better safe than sorry, I assume. Ugh, what did you do that for? Just had to be sure, Yida. Thancred turned into a sylph? No. Wait, you're telling me that was a sylph all along? Ugh, I can't believe I fell for that. I'd heard about them shape-shifting trick, but that sprite was just so convincing. I wonder where the real Thancred has disappeared to. That is a question that we should probably be answering, you know? But that will be an answer we'll possibly get in the next episode. Alright guys, I'm going to end this one here. I hope you've been enjoying it so far and are looking forward to the next one. In the next episode that will be posted up tomorrow, we will actually be doing the Striking Tree, which will be the primal fight for Ramuh. Look forward to it as much as I am. Alright y'all, I will see you in the next episode. Peace out, and much love to you.